My name is Jeff Haberg. I go to Texas A&M University at Texarkana. I'm in the Management 508 class. My instructor is Dr. McDonald, and I am in Team 4. Team 4 is doing their presentation on Mayo Furniture. I've got the first section, Environmental Analysis. Social Trends, Population. According to the 2000 census, Texarkana has 34,782 people. That's 59% white, 37% African American, and 3% Hispanic. Mayo Furniture has 151 people working at their Texarkana facility. Economic trends. 80% of the sales for Mayo Furniture come from Texas and the 5 surrounding states. Mayo Furniture initially began by building mattresses in 1965, but soon after changed to build custom-built furniture. Mayo is a family-owned business that will build for anyone who wants custom-made furniture. At one time, the majority of retail stores were small family businesses. Unfortunately, bigger retail stores are selling at bulk, making many of the small family businesses close. Political trends, ordinances. Zoning ordinances for the city of Texarkana are monitored by the ordinance of the Council of the City, Texarkana, Texas. The ordinance was last revised in November 2012. These ordinances reflect the positive growth potential plan for the Northeast Texas area. Mayo can use these to their advantage because the Texarkana area is now orchestrating a business boom that the City Council orchestrated. They're wanting to expand the business base in Texarkana areas, resulting in an increase in retail and wholesale corporations. Political trends, taxes. The cost of living in Texarkana is 10% lower than the national average. Texas does not have a state income tax, and the residents from Texarkana, Arkansas are exempt from state income if they work in the Texarkana, Texas area. State, county, and city sales tax are around 8.25%, with neighboring Texarkana, Arkansas being at 10%. Franchises. Locally, Texarkana has 5 furniture stores. They are Ivan Smith, Hank's Fine Furniture, 4 States Furniture, Ashley Furniture Home Store, and Affordable Furniture Warehouse. Technological trends. Mayo Furniture has up-to-date manufacturing methods. Although they are hand-assembled, the wood, foam, and fabric are fabricated with advanced manufacturing techniques. Their computerized equipment helps create custom furniture to the customer's satisfaction. Competition. Mayo Furniture's main competitors are Flex Steel, Smith Brothers, and Jonathan Lewis Furniture. Flex Steel, makers of home furniture, commercial furniture, and vehicle seats. They are out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Flex Steel is a publicly traded company run by investors. They have 5 manufacturing facilities. They assemble large quantities on assembly lines. Mayo is superior to Flex Steel in the fact that they are a private, family-owned company that can produce long-lasting, hand-assembled furniture to the customer's specifications. Smith Brothers, makers of handcrafted furniture of Bern, Indiana. Smith Brothers and Mayo are very similar in nature. The only difference between Smith Brothers and Mayo is that the Smith Brothers is available in 32 states, and Mayo is located in Texas and the 5 surrounding states. This is to Mayo's advantage because they can keep their costs lower due to the close proximity of their sales area. Jonathan Lewis Furniture, wholesale, home, and commercial furniture makers out of Gardena, California. They are a nationally known chain that is associated with the Furniture Row companies. Although they advertise personalization with their product lines, they are large-scale wholesale producers that sell assembly line produced furniture. Again, Mayo produces personalized to the customer specifications. End of section 1.
I'm LaTanya McElroy representing Team 4, and I will be presenting section 2, the resource analysis. This is the self-appraisal that we did with Mayo Manufacturing. We worked with Steve Mayo, the Executive Vice President, and Patrick Mayo, the Director of Marketing and Product Development, to talk about what their strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats were. And so the areas that we're going to cover, Okay. Okay. The areas that we want to cover are, first of all, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats in the areas of product lines, manufacturing facilities, equipment, and human resources. And as we go through these, it gave the company an opportunity to review where there were opportunities for growth and development. We'll begin with our strengths. In terms of our strengths, we felt like Mayo's strengths were the diversity of style and fabrics. Unlike many other furniture manufacturing companies, Mayo offers the opportunity for the buyer to choose from over 75 different styles of furniture and many hundreds of fabrics and designs. And essentially, the individual can choose the item based on their personal preferences and their needs, and the item is custom made. That is a strength because many of the other companies do the same thing but only wholesale, so you don't have the options. They don't offer customized furnishings. And also quality. There is a high standard for quality in the products that are made at Mayo Manufacturing, and there's a quality assurance department that actually evaluates every piece of furniture before it leaves. There's also a money-back repair at no cost guarantee for any kind of defect or anything that's attributed to the manufacturing. Thirdly, we have the speed of manufacturing and delivery, which is a strength for Mayo Manufacturing. Mayo Manufacturing tries to turn around the furniture orders within 3 weeks. It is a promise. In most cases, it's actually shorter than that, and in companies that are making product overseas, that's not possible because of shipping and the lag and the time it takes to get the furniture to the domestic United States. So one of the big key factors that makes Mayo competitive and has allowed Mayo to gain market share is the fact that the furniture can be made quickly right here in the United States and then shipped very quickly to the store so that the customer receives their pieces within a timely manner. So when sometimes quality and sometimes price are equal, the speed of the delivery helps make a buying decision for the buyers. Core competencies are also the SOFA groups. The SOFA groups are very strong, and they are the cash cow of Mayo Manufacturing. Next, we'll talk about more strengths. The vertical or connected building layout Mayo. Mayo is situated so that all of the processes are streamlined. So when an item comes through production, there's just a little bit more efficient way of making it. And the buildings are connected. Managers and supervisors are right there and are able to communicate. It is a strength of Mayo. The location being that Mayo Manufacturing is located in the Texarkana, Texas area, it's been able to capitalize on a lot of the successes even during the economic downturn, because the oil industry still did well in Texas, and Texas economy did really well, even, or at least survived and thrived even during those times. So because of the location, and Texas being the central location of distribution for Mayo, Mayo was able to do very well. That was a strength for Mayo. Investment in equipment and technology is something that Mayo takes very seriously, and because of that, it has allowed Mayo to make their processes of cutting fabrics and wood more efficient, using less manpower, and were able to increase the capacity to make more furniture because of that. Also, the tenured and multifunctional associates of Mayo are an extreme advantage. There are associates who've been there 30 and 40 years, and they have learned facets of the operating and production side of Mayo, and they provide a level of skill and knowledge that is a strength to Mayo. And finally, the engagement of the managers. Managers are right there and hands-on and provide a lot of opportunity to capitalize on the strengths that they offer the team. Next, we'll cover weaknesses. The strengths were a little bit lengthy. These other areas are not as deep, but just to kind of overview weaknesses, the recliner line, if they had to choose one, Mayo team leader said that the recliner line would be the one because understanding motion and the engineering of how to create a chair that has moving parts is a little bit more complicated, and they haven't quite mastered that design yet. It takes a lot of time to create that piece, twice as long as it takes to create a sofa. So the company has looked at that as an opportunity to either find alternative motion or to hire an engineer and kind of better the process of making those. Staffing deficits has been a weakness, just the need of more staff, more people who are trained and able to help meet capacity. And training new associates and getting them to the acceptable efficiency is also a weakness, but that has been tackled by adding new trainers in all different sections of the production plant. There's a new trainer that they've added to the sewing department, a new trainer that has been added to the upholstery department where all the furniture, all the items are put together to make the finished product. So those are our weaknesses. We're going to move on to opportunities. The opportunities that Mayo sees are promoting the brand made in the USA. A lot of companies that were selling furniture and making furniture just like Mayo have shut their doors, and that has actually made it a lot more rare to find a company making furniture in the USA. So Made in the USA is a strong brand that Patrick thought would be a great opportunity to grow. Gaining market share from those closures is as a result of the things that I've just mentioned. Replicating the successes. In some instances with larger retailers, Mayo has really basically implemented some good to great qualities and have actually started to see greater growth in those areas of business because they're able to meet the retailer's needs. Whatever the retailer needs, they're meeting it. So in some instances, that means they've kind of come into agreements with the retailer and have shorter delivery and things like that. Well, it's meeting those needs and being responsive that have made them very successful with some of those retailers, and they want to replicate that and those successes with some other stores all across the country, starting with training salespeople to be more comfortable with offering the product. And finally, we're going to discuss threats. One of the greatest threats is economic downturn, which is the same for everybody, but as you know, if we have fewer finances, we have less money, we tend to cut the things that are not real necessities. So we're not, buying a new sofa is not high on the list. So if we do experience an economic downturn and it does impact our area and the surrounding areas of the United States, that is a threat. Also increasing interest rates for debt because profit margin is not that wide in the furniture industry. Excessive turnover or lack of retention is also a threat because we want to make sure that we're hiring well and that we're retaining and training those that we have. When we have quick turnover and we lose people, we've lost time that we've invested in the Mayo company. For that company, it is a threat because the Mayo company is having to train people to do upholstering and sewing. People don't come with those types of skills usually in our area. So it is a trial and error. Getting people knowing whether or not a person can actually do that job when we hire. Work ethic is a diminishing commodity, and unfortunately, it's something that not only Mayo but other companies have to deal with. Just finding people who are willing to show up for work every single day, be on time, and be committed and dedicated. It has been a challenge, and it is a challenge that we all face. And so I've presented our strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats. At this point, we'll go into section 3, formulation of assumptions and criteria. The very first assumption is that our market will respond favorably to our new upholstery. So when we present lines to market, our hopes, the assumption is that people will like it. Mayo customers will feel like their furniture is valuable and will pay higher prices for the custom pieces. Our assumption is that people value things that they can create and make especially for their homes. Also, customers will have additional confidence in their product because they offer free repairs. and that speaks for itself. And also the assumption is that Mayo will increase sales by up to 20% a year, which has been the trend for the last 3 years. And continuing those practices, the Mayo Company hopes to continue that success. And finally, criteria, formulation of assumptions and criteria before we move to the next section. We'll cover these briefly. Workers being successful at their jobs is a criteria because a team is made up of individuals and we want every person to be successful in their own right. A family-operated corporation and will continue to make other non-family employees feel like family. It's very important to the culture of Mayo to embrace people and make them a part of the Mayo culture, the Mayo family. And finally, criteria is training for employees, association by reduction of cost and craftsmanship. All of those are important to making sure that we're successful. We bring the employees in, it's also our job to train them. So that is a requirement or criteria that we have in order to meet our objectives.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Bradley and I'm with Group 4 as well, and I will be presenting Section 4 updating of the current mission statement. Mayo Furniture's mission statement is: the Mayo Manufacturing Corporation is a team effort to achieve and maintain a clearly superior competitive position as a manufacturer of upholstered home furnishing products. In order to achieve this mission statement, we need to excel in the design and manufacturing and service in terms of both speed and execution, and also base this on our customers' needs as well. These are very important key factors in order to produce the mission statement. Our customers will judge our progress. Also, in order to achieve the mission statement, the team will work together in an atmosphere of continuous improvement and mutual respect to accomplish this mission, thereby benefiting everyone associated with our organization. The next section that I will do is Section 5, and that is the determination of objectives and goals. Mayo could potentially increase sales by adding new upholstery lines and creating custom pieces. This could create a new trend that would leave a customer with personalized furniture and the feeling that they could come back for future business. Opening to new areas as far as the new upholstery line goes, it definitely could help widen our market that we're looking for and increase the sales as well. Hiring new employees would also help increase these sales, as it would help increase productivity and in helping create the custom pieces that are the type of customers that we want to buy these custom pieces. Some of the goals that have been established, that are already been established, are adding more personnel and equipment, training, and increasing retention. Over the past few years, Mayo has worked quite a bit of overtime hours with the amount of staff that they have on hand now. And so being able to keep up with the demand that they currently have, they do want to increase personnel. Texarkana is known kind of as not having such a wide, diversified workforce pool. So for Mayo, adding more personnel might not be as simple as it sounds. But Mayo has recently purchased new equipment to help meet the demand and to help grow capacity and supply the demand to increase the sales. Sorry about that. Some of the short-term goals that Mayo will pursue is, of course, the short-term goals are in the length of 1 to 2 years. Like I said, I've mentioned meeting demand, increasing sales, growing capacity, and adding the new upholstery line. Some of the long-term goals that they have talked about, and this is with a range of 3 to 5 years, are, of course, keep growth at 20%. And one of the things that they expressed as well is that they don't necessarily have many long-term goals, and they do need to implement some of those long-term objectives and goals. And hopefully doing the strategic plan will help them see what long-term goals and objectives they do need. The next section that I will do is the formulation of strategy. Some of the strategy keystones is increase personnel and include training program. As I had mentioned earlier, sometimes it's hard in Texarkana to hire employees. So that is, they want to be able to pool the amount of hireable employees with the experience of specializing in manufacturing furniture in Texarkana. These employees from Texarkana. They do want to start them from the ground level up and be able to keep the employee retention. The training program, they would expect for it to last from 6 months to a year. Also mentioned, add the upholstery line to increase sales. Once Mayo has hired and trained new employees, the new upholstery line can be added. This will help grow capacity and increase demand as well. Mayo has recently purchased a new fabric cutter and router to help make this upholstery line available as well. Another thing that they want to keep in place is keep a good family culture within owners, management, and entry-level employees as well. They do believe that creating loyalty within the employees will help earn trust and build a stable relationship with their customers as well. They also have done some new employee incentives and trying to build the facilities to help employees feel more comfortable at work as well. As I did mention, they implement some more short-term and long-term objectives. Many companies don't really necessarily have long-term objectives because they do run day-to-day, and this plan hopefully will be provided to them to help make some long-term objectives and goals. Now, of course, the ultimate objective is to meet demand and increase sales. So that's within any company. That Mayo's goals are to hire and train new personnel. In an effort to hire and train new personnel, this will help the objective to increase sales. Being able to meet demand with Mayo, will help Mayo reach from coast to coast and help expand their sales area. Right now, I know that they only have a Texas +1 state reach is about 80% of their sales. And they hope to maybe grow that area a little bit. Putting this plan into action will help Mayo continue to grow sales at 20% a year for many years to come.
I'll present the section 7, preparation of the long-range plan. And the elements of this plan, first of all, just highlighted the income statement, which is an eye-opening experience to realize where the money, the inflow and the outflow are going of cash in the business. And I was also surprised to learn that in many years it was the other income and profit from capital investments that helped to carry Mayo through the years and during some difficult times. But here you can see those numbers: 72 million net sales, 29 million gross profit, operating expense of 29 million, other income of about million, and then net profit of 485,000. Then on the balance sheet, basically this gives a little bit of a picture of exactly where the money is, where our assets and our liabilities are. And if you'll just take a look at that, the current assets, the other assets, inventory, fixed assets, long-term investments. And then the last three are current liabilities, long-term liabilities, and stock/retained earnings. And as you can see, there's quite a bit of retained earnings and stock value there. So those are the pictures of an overall balance sheet. Of course, the detailed balance sheet is before you for your viewing. And as a planning process, it's very important to budget. And part of the thing that Mayo has expressed is that they haven't really worked with the budget. They just make decisions on a day-by-day, as needs arise basis with some objectives in mind, make some intelligent business decisions on a fast payback when they're investing in equipment and such. But for the sake of this project, have made a commitment to 10% increases in expenses in various areas to allow them to meet some of the long-term and short-term goals that we've mentioned. The human resources forecast is to hire some more people. And in order to do that, had to deal with, okay, what are the needs going to be if we grow 20% a year for the next 3 years? And so as you can see, there will be hiring in each department. In addition to your normal hiring for each department, there's also going to be hiring of an industrial engineer. And that is a very important step in order to meet some of our goals, or the goals of Mayo for development. The facility forecast, talking about some of the goals for development, is expanding the facility in 2015 and 2016. That's going to require a lot of research and a lot of review and analysis of the current layout and determining what the needs are. And so Mayo plans to do these in the next 2 years. Research and development, very important to the growth of Mayo, is to continue to look ahead and stay on the cutting edge. And so a web-based ordering system is next. And biannually, really cracking down and looking at what we have and how we can make our product better.
Hello, my name is Edgar Lopez. I'm a member of Group 4, and I'm going to be discussing Section 8, Implementation of Long-Range Plans. Mayo must complete their short-range goals, which are being able to add new machinery to the company, which is going to enable Mayo to increase demand and complete orders. Secondly, they must increase their efforts to raise employee count, and by doing so, they must reduce the limit of overtime they're pushing their employees to by the demand of production. And by increasing the efforts of increasing their employee count, they'll be able to train more people and increase the employee count overall. Thirdly, Mayo Head must come together as a group and be able to discuss more long-term range plans and be able to come together and set them and complete them as an overall group. Next, I'm going to be talking about Section 8, Appraisal and Results and Recycling the Processing Plan. Mayo Furniture should assess its strategic plan and implementation of that plan, and by doing so, the result will create a positive reputation and attract new customers, resulting in a higher addition of employees. Next, they must be able to periodically adjust changes as needed. And by doing so, Mayo must assess their strategic plan and implementation plan and periodically adjust as necessary changes are brought up. And next is be able to strategically dedicate to growth in new avenues. And by doing so, they will increase locally owned businesses and increase their profits along with theirs. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jeff Haberk. I'm with Team 4, and I'm here to discuss the electrical problems that we had. We went ahead and used YouTube Video Editor 2014. We used Blackboard's Video Anytime tool, and I also contacted the media services at Texas A&M Texarkana, and they weren't able to help us. The problem we had was I'm from Alabama, and my 3 other teammates are from Texarkana. Basically, I needed to find out how to get their video uploaded to YouTube to create the whole presentation together. Basically, what I had to do was I had to give them my screen name and password. It's the only way. We tried to go into Texas A&M Texarkana's Google Cloud services and just couldn't get it to work. So everybody uploaded the 4 sections, and then I put them together, and they'll be presented to Dr. McDonald. Other than that, the only other problem I had was with Blackboard. For some reason, yesterday and today, coming right down to game day, that Blackboard would not open up for me. It told me I wasn't registered for a class. So what I had to do was, after several tries and frantic phone calls, I basically had to shut down my computer, reboot it, start it back up, and then manually enter the website to get it to come up. And I haven't had the problem since. Other than that, I think everything went smooth. We all used cameras, we all used meeting rooms, and we went from there. And hopefully the video came out correct.